Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this morning session and live Forex trading session. So as usual, we're just going to have a look at the markets, see what the markets have in store for us. As usual, the main markets we'll be looking at is the Euro US dollar and the dollar Canadian dollar. So those are the two markets we're going to analyze. And as usual, we'll start off with the economic calendar. So let's see what's up with the economic calendar today. So we're going to look out for reports of high importance. I'll also note reports of medium importance that could affect the euro, the US dollar, or the Canadian dollar. So you basically check for reports that could affect the currency pair you're trading. So today is Tuesday, the 1st of June, first day of the month. Thursday, the 1st of June. And again, I'm based in Rwanda, so I'm using the times GMT plus 2 times. GMT plus 2 times. So obviously, always make sure you change your time zone to your own time zone. So you're checking the times of your own time zones. Okay, so. Right, let's see what's coming up. So let's have a look. So all these Asian reports that have come and gone. So all these Asian reports have come and gone. We had the Australian Royal Bank of Australia interest rate decision about half an hour ago. So that's come and gone. So let's see. You can always just ignore reports of medium importance, low importance. So reports of low importance, you can just ignore them. But you can see at 9 o'clock, from Switzerland, we have the GDP growth rate. So if you're trading any currency paired with the Swiss franc, then you actually have to note that. But of course, we are looking at the Euro US dollar and dollar Canadian dollar. And at 9:55, we have the Germany unemployment rate. That's a report of high importance, very high importance. As usual, there are 4 reports that are always significant. So there are 4 reports that are always significant. That's the gross domestic product, GDP, interest rates, consumer price index or inflation rate, and then GDP, unemployment rate. So those 4 reports are always of high importance. And so unemployment rate is a big one. And obviously Germany being the major powerhouse in Europe, that would affect the euro and hence the Euro US dollar, which we're looking at. So that's the first report of major importance that would affect the euro and hence the Euro US dollar. And then at 11 o'clock this morning, again, this is all GMT plus 2 times. So at 11 a.m. GMT plus 2, we have the core inflation rate due out of the euro area. So again, like I said earlier, inflation rate, which is also the consumer price index, inflation rate, unemployment rate, interest rates, GDP, those 4 reports are always of high importance. So that core inflation rate at 11, again, out of the euro area would impact the euro and hence the Euro US dollar. We also have the GDP from Italy, but again, Italy is not a significant economy, so we can just ignore Italy. That's not going to really impact the markets. And then at 2:30, we have the GDP growth rate from Canada. So of course, again, just like I said earlier, and again, this is always a good reminder, like I said earlier, GDP growth rate, inflation or consumer price index, interest rates, unemployment rates, those 4 reports are always of major importance. So that's a significant report due out of Canada at 2:30 p.m. GMT plus 2. So this would impact the Canadian dollar and hence the USD Canadian dollar. And then at 3:45, we have the market manufacturing PMI final report out of the United States. And then at 4 p.m., we have the ISM manufacturing PMI report from the United States. And then reports of high importance due out from the United States affects all markets. So all markets are affected by reports of high importance due out from the United States. And that's the last report of high importance today. So today there are quite a few reports of high importance due out, but again, this is why you focus on the currency pair you're trading and decide what to do regarding that currency pair. And again, that's why I always say those who are new to trading should just focus on one market and learn how to trade, just focusing on one market, preferably the Euro US dollar, and just focus on one. Because once you start trading multiple markets, you need to be able to decide which report to be aware for which currency pair you're trading. And today is a good example. So we'll start with the Euro US dollar. So for today, with the Euro US dollar, the two reports that are of significance in relation to the Euro US dollar is the Germany unemployment rate at 9.55 and the Euro area core inflation rate. So these two reports are of huge significance in relation to the Euro US dollar, excuse me, and they are way more important than the US report later on at 3:45 and 4 p.m. So although this report at 4 p.m. from the United States is the last report of high importance, and ideally you want to avoid trading prior to the last report of high importance. But today, especially when it comes to the Euro US dollar specifically, the Germany unemployment rate at 9.55 and the Euro area core inflation rate are significantly more important than the US report coming out later. So I'll start trading the Euro US dollar at 11 o'clock this morning, GMT plus 2. So I would avoid trading around 9.55. We'll see what happens then at 9.55. We'll see what happens at 9.55. But I would not place my first trade, or I will not place my pending orders till just before the report at 11. So just before the report at 11, I will assess the Euro US dollar market and then decide where to place my pending orders then. And then I will have only one attempt at the Euro US dollar market. I will have only one attempt prior to the last report at 4 p.m. Okay, but I'm going to start trading the Euro US dollar around this report at 11 a.m. GMT plus 2. So that's specific for the Euro US dollar. Then for the dollar Canadian dollar, today, the first report of significance for the dollar Canadian dollar is at 2:30. So at 2:30, we have the GDP growth rate from Canada again, which is significantly more important than the US reports later. So for the dollar Canadian dollar, I'm going to avoid trading that currency pair till 2:30 GMT plus 2. I'll assess the market just before that report at 2:30. And again, I will only have one attempt at the dollar Canadian dollar prior to the last report at 4 p.m. So you take each currency pair on its own merit. So looking at Market Watch, again, you want to check to see if there are any reports, any financial news that could affect the global markets. So it's just to see if there's anything that could create uncertainty in the markets. So there's really nothing major causing uncertainty in the markets in relation to the currency market. And of course, there's a lot happening in the stock market, but nothing crazy going on that could affect the currency market. So going back to the economic calendar, again, you want to check the rest of the week to see if there's anything coming up the rest of the week that could impact your trading today. And the main thing you're looking for are interest rate decisions. So if for example, trading the Euro US dollar, if you have the European Central Bank interest rate decision coming up later that week, that will make you very careful trading the euro US dollar or any currency paired with the euro prior to the European Central Bank interest rate decision. If you're trading currencies paired with the pound, then of course you want to be wary trading any currency pair that's paired with the pound prior to Bank of England interest rate decision. And of course, if you have the US Fed interest rate decision coming out later in the week, you want to avoid trading all markets prior to the US interest rate decision. And then the other major decision you're looking out for is the US unemployment rate. The US unemployment rate is a report of huge importance that affects all markets, and you want to be wary trading the markets prior to that report coming out that week. So those are the major ones you're looking out for when you're looking at the economic calendar for the rest of the week. So we go to the next 7 days. So tomorrow, 2nd of June, let's see if there's anything major coming out. So that's tomorrow, Wednesday, nothing major. Thursday, the 3rd of June, nothing major. And then Friday, the 4th of June. So Friday, the 4th of June, we can see we have the Canadian unemployment rate and most importantly, the US unemployment rate on the non-farm payrolls. So this is a report that we know comes out on the first Friday of every month. So the Friday this week is the first Friday of the month of June. And everyone knows that the US unemployment rate or the non-farm pay report comes out on the first Friday of every month. It's a highly anticipated report. Like I said earlier, it moves all markets. So for this week, you have to be extremely careful trading this week prior to Friday because of that report, because there's a probability, not a certainty, but there's a probability the markets could just be trending sideways all week this week leading up to that report on Friday. I'll also set up a session. We'll trade that report together on Friday. Of course, you'll be notified on the platform when I set up the Zoom session for Friday. So in view of this report coming out on Friday, we're going to be careful trading this week leading up to Friday, meaning I will only be having one attempt per day leading up to Friday. So going back to today, I said earlier, I will trade the euro US dollar at 11 a.m. this morning, just before the report is announced. Earlier I said I'll have one attempt, and if I lose out, I will then have my second attempt at 4 p.m. But in view of the US unemployment report coming out on Friday, I am only going to have one attempt on the euro US dollar at 11 a.m. And that'll be just one attempt for the whole day. I will not have a second attempt. I will only have one attempt for today. Same the Canadian dollar, I will only have one attempt today at around 2:30. So for the rest of the week, I'm just going to have one attempt today, and that will be it leading up to Friday. So again, you can see how really the economic calendar guides, how you trade that day, how often you trade, and what time you trade. So we now know today we're going to trade the euro US dollar around 11 a.m. GMT +2 and only have one attempt in view of the report on Friday. And the Canadian dollar, we're going to trade that at 2:30 and only have one attempt today in view of the report on Friday. Okay, so let's go to the charts. So we'll start with the euro US dollar. We'll start with the swing trading. So I'll go to the daily time frame, D1. So looking at the daily time frame, today, 1st of June, the moving average 50 today is 1.2076. So I'm just going to adjust my stop loss to 2 pips below that as 1.2074. So 1.2074. And that's all I have to do for my swing trade. So you can see I entered the live swing trade on the 13th of April. It took my pending buy order at the time with a 100 pip stop loss. And then on the 19th of April, the market moved 100 pips in my direction. And so from the 19th of April, I started moving my stop loss with the moving average, like I've done today. So today, like I say, you can see here, my stop loss is 2074. So stop loss is 2074. And my entry level was 1941. 1941. So 2074 minus 1971. Excuse me. So 2074 minus 1941. That's 133 pips. 133 pips. So if the market reverses now and falls back down and takes me out today, at least I'll make 133 pips as of today. But like I said, that's all I need to do with the swing trade, is just keep adjusting my stop loss with the moving average until the market takes it out, whenever that happens. So let's go to the day trade, 5-minute time frame, M5. So again, usually the first thing you do is check the trend. So we can see it's currently trending sideways, which is pretty obvious. The market is just trending sideways between R1 and the pivot point. But again, I'm not going to place any pending orders now. I'm just going to leave the market alone, reassess again at just before the report at 11 a.m. GMT +2 and decide what to do then. So let's come to the dollar, Canadian dollar. Again, start with the swing trade, daily time frame D1. So at the moment, I'm not in a live trade on the dollar, Canadian dollar. So I'm just adjusting my pending buy order. You can see the market is currently trending down, extremely bearish, it's trending down. So I'm looking to buy if the market reverses when it breaks the moving average. So today, the moving average 100 is 1.2450. So I'm going to adjust my pending order to 2 pips above that at 1.2452. So just going to modify my pending order to 2 pips above the moving average 100 to 2452, and my 100 pips stop loss 2352. So that's all I need to do from the swing trade point of view. Then day trade, go to the 5-minute time frame. And again, you can see the dollar, Canadian dollar is all over the place. You can see it was trending sideways, fell a bit, now trending sideways. So again, I'm going to leave the market alone and then reassess again and see the state of the market just before the Canadian GDP report at 2:30 p.m. GMT +2. So that's my plan for today. Any questions? Any questions, comments?